Audio.etc. is proudly supported by Auto Sound and Security. Good morning guys, how's it going? James here from Audio.etc. Finally, something simple and easy for us to do that we know we can do and get it done. I'm working with Grant today, a bit of co-op work. I know you guys liked when we did that in the last video, so I need to unlock this door because this car has no central locking. What we are doing is, in here we are putting a Sony XAV-ax200bt, which is obviously a Sony stereo with Bluetooth, CarPlay and DVD drive, and then we're putting alpine Type R components in the doors, woofer down here, and we're going to mount the tweeter up here somewhere. You can already see Grant has marked on the door with some chalk whereabouts the dash line's up to, so he's getting a good idea as to where he's going to put the tweeter. The other thing I do have to do is hook up the stereo to this existing reversing camera under here. There's an aftermarket one. By the way, those screws weren't there yesterday. I've put them in just last night because this was kind of only being held on with 3M and it was flopping down. So I've fixed it up there with some screws to begin with. But I'm not sure how long that camera's going to last because after doing some testing, whoop, door's good. Put it somewhere. I'll show you guys here. Let's put it onto ignition. It's got a Kenwood in here at the moment. Kenwood DNX5330BT, for any of you wondering. If I put it in reverse, this is the view we've got. It's terrible. Cannot see a bloody thing. And it's not because the lens is foggy or anything like that. Oops. Pretty hopeless image, eh?
I want you to use a surround to fill in those gaps.
Yeah, I'll try and find something to make it look good. You've got those those doubled in trim kits. Yeah. Yeah, it's not covered in dirt or anything like that, so I'm not sure why it's showing up so blurry and bright, but when I was driving in yesterday, actually out in the sun, that was just almost all white. It wasn't handling the light at all well. So, FM and AM work. I haven't tested the speakers fully yet, but we've got FM and no AM because this aerial was snapped off, so that's something else we're going to hopefully do today.
I just want to make sure that this one.
It is a GPS one, like it's got this Kenwood GPS aerial here for navigation, but the operating system in it is pretty piece of shit, so I think that's why he's changing it, because it's just annoying and slow. Yeah. See, it's like, it seems cheap, eh? Maybe it's not a genuine Kenwood, because Kenwood is supposed to be quite a good brand. I don't know. Click this. Where are we? Oh. No, there was sound yesterday. That's weird. I did have FM yesterday. I don't know what's changed overnight. Yeah, I think this would be why he's changing it. It's pretty unresponsive. Hey, this comes off. It won't turn on now. Pretty sure both speakers were going yesterday. I'll have the stereo out in a short period of time and I'll be able to pop test the diff channel anyway. Anyway, while we're waiting for that thing to turn on, so I'm going to start, taking that stereo out of the dash, getting the Sony ready, and if you guys want to stick around to the end of the video, I've got a package arrived for me. I think this is something that I've ordered for Judy, something else for me to install into her. So if you guys want to see what that is, make sure you stick around to the end of the video. Both of the dash screws are missing. There we go.
Bus disruptions in Wellington today, with hundreds of drivers attending a stop work meeting from 9 until 2. They're discussing their new contracts with Transit and what it means for terms and conditions.
Looks like the camera has been powered off reverse. Okay, so I've got most of the harness and everything out, got the GPS here, I still got a microphone, but they've hooked, I hate it when installers do this. A lot of reversing cameras will come with an RCA like this, where it's got the RCA head, the lead, and a nice little red wire coming out of it. And I hate it when installers run this in the car, and then use that wire to get reverse from the reverse light up to the front. It's far better if you use that as the power supply for the camera and then find reverse elsewhere. It will be up the front, you just got to go looking for it. It'll be under one of the floor tracks because there's going to be a main harness in there for the reverse light. You just got to go looking for it. And if you do that, it means that you can actually use the stereo's built-in camera function where you can at any time, whether in reverse or not, go into camera and see what's behind the car. Whereas when you wire it up this way, when you wire the camera only to reverse, it means that the camera's only ever going to be on when you're in reverse, so it renders that function, that feature of the stereo completely useless. And the only way for us now to fix it would be to pull all that out and run a whole new, or just run a whole another wire down the back for it. But that's a lot of work that hasn't been quoted for, and it's just unfortunate that whoever did his camera install, you know, didn't really care about what benefits the customer the most. They just did whatever is easiest for them. Yeah, so that's unfortunate. So yeah, this red wire is going to be my reverse signal. Yeah, just got to get the mic out, and then I'll start doing and then I'll solder the Sony lead onto here. Okay, so I got everything out, got the microphone, all of the Kenwood stuff is down there for us to give back to the customer. Now just moving on to soldering up the Sony lead to the hookup lead that was already in the car, and then mounting the new Sony stereo in the brackets, and running the microphone and doing the USB, which I will come back to you guys on how I'm doing the USB. Okay guys, I got the stereo mounted to the brackets, although I did have to modify them just a wee bit, because this AX200 is a weird 1.5 ton size chassis, and as you can see none of the bottom screw holes line up with anything. And on the other stereo, the only screws that went in were the upper right one and the bottom ones, whereas the upper left one didn't line up with anything. So I ended up having to extend that upper left hole down so that I could get a screw in there, otherwise it's only going to be held in with one screw. But that's okay, got that fixed. I've done the harness and the microphone and everything like that. This wire here is for illumination, because for some reason there wasn't an illumination wire in this hookup lead. So I've just extended a piece of orange wire over and spliced it onto the illumination source in the harness. And what else we got? For the grounds, they had their ground on top of the plastic, which is flat out wrong. You don't want to go over top of plastic. I like to, if you can see there, kind of shove them in between the plastic and the metal there, that way they have direct contact to metal, and then the mounting screws go through and tighten it all up. So there's one up here for his radar wire, which is this thing up here, and this one here is my stereo one, and once the screw goes in there, that'll tighten up and pinch it down. One thing I need to do now, I think I'm going to cut the head off this aerial and attach a fly lead to it, because I need to pull this all the way back through and out, because we've got a new aerial coming for it. So I need to do that before I put the stereo in. And I also need to do the USB cord, which won't take me too long. Here's the current aerial situation. It's just broken off, so we've got a new one coming. Let's have a look and see how Grant's going with the speakers. Looks like he's just drilling some holes for some tweeters. How'd you go with the whole woofer situation? Oh, they're done already? Oh, cool. So you got the woofers mounted in the existing factory pod, and so he's attached the connection, the factory speaker connection, to the back of the terminals. Wonder how he's planning on doing the tweeter crossover. I was hoping there'd be a way for us to put that on there and retain a couple of clips so that we could still plug the tweeter crossover on. But I guess I guess you're just gonna splice into the wires and
yeah, it'd be easier.
Yeah.
One plug.
Okay. So yeah, for the tweeter crossover, it sounds like he's just gonna cut some of this back and splice and solder the wires onto them, and then mount the crossover up here somewhere. But that'll be good. What I'm doing for the USB, I discussed this with the customer where he wanted it to come out. This is the stereo hole here, and this little pocket here, which is below the stereo. He just wants the USB cable to be sort of in there. He wanted it kind of flush mounted to begin with, because his Kenwood stereo has a USB port on the front of it, and he's used to just being able to plug straight into it. But I explained to him that it's much better to be loose on a lead because it's way less damageable, and if this is hidden in there, it's like you can hide it away and stuff. So what I'm going to do is drill a hole in the back of here, which is just big enough for the male end of this USB cable to go through. Oh, actually, is that going to work? No, that's not going to work because there's this great big thing around it. Oh, either way, I'm going to have the female USB cord sitting in loose, just sit it in here, and he's going to be able to pull it out, plug memory sticks or a lightning cable in, and then push it back in so that the connection is tucked away inside there. And he says he doesn't use this pocket for anything at the moment anyway, so that'll be alright. Okay, there we go, I got the USB done. So all I had to do was use the drill and my files and slowly just cut myself a hole that is the exact shape and size of the head of the USB cord, or just a little bit tinier, so that it like barely wedged through. And now it's like, it's not by any means going to come back through that hole like without a lot of work. It was quite hard to push through. And this big circular thing here, I always forget what these are called, like ferrites or something, and obviously it's not going to go any further that way. So that's nice and loose. You can pull it out, plug things in, and then sit it back in there. That's that done. I need to put the vents back on, don't I? Thought I'd stop there for a second to show you guys like what I'm doing with the aerial. So I just put in this Antec, what's the model number? NN98, made for these cars. Here it is, here's the new one. So first thing you had to do was take off the window wiper and then get this whole panel off, and then there was just one bolt there that holds the thing in. And I didn't show it, but there was, actually where's the original one? So here's the original wire that we cut off of here. And there's this grommet which is like right behind, so that there somewhere. It was really hard to get in the hole because it was a cheap. This is a nice rubbery one, but the one we have was plasticky. But we got it in now, and Grant's just connecting it to the little aerial extension lead, which is in the car, fortunately. So now that I've got this in, I can put this panel back on, and then this rubber boot thing goes back over top, and this will just that's as long as it goes. Cool. Now this just goes here. It just pushes down, I guess. I don't know. That's like pretty much all the way down, so I think that's as far down as it goes. It doesn't really seal it very well. Yeah. Okay. I might try the original one, see if that meets better. That one's a bit better. I think I'll use that one. It's not a perfect seal because the rubber is kind of like bent and warped and stuff, and it doesn't in any way lock or clip itself on. It just kind of sits there, but it'll be good enough. Yeah, cheap and plasticky. Oh, that's a strong spring load. Now I've got to get this back on in the same place. Enough. This thing has to go stereo back on, which pops down there. There, no, it goes up here. Just like that. Cool. Post this up. Now I have to put all of this mucky mess back together. I hate wheel guards. Okay, time to put the stereo in. Got everything in place, got the USB cable that's going to be going through the dash run up and out of here so that I can plug it in. Let's try and do this. One-handed. Boom. I'll try and use the little doodacky that it comes with. The Sony, I don't know if these are any good or not, but the Sony's come with this little bit of like double-sided Velcro string thing. Supposedly it's to stop the USBs from coming undone, but I don't know how good it's going to work. What do? They wrap it around like that. That's how you're supposed to do it, according to Sony. You like do like a figure 8 wrap around it. And I suppose it does stop it from coming apart. Would be easy just to put a bunch of tape over it, but we'll use it. Thank you, Sony. Okay, now, main harness. Oops, that's going to go under that side, I think. Main harness. Microphone goes over here, and camera on this one, since it's a rear camera, goes in that port at the bottom over there. Okay, and aerial. Okay, now all this goes back in the hole. Those grounds need to stay there. Thank you. Don't know what that was. Are they still there? Looks like they are. Cool. I need my Phillips, which is here. All the screws. If you're wondering why the camera's moving so much, I'm pinching the tripod with my legs and using my hands to put the stereo in. Mad skills. I'm not quite as set up as a film crew, and I do need to get a 4th screw to secure that in because I did drop one, but I don't think I can see it. Drop one down here somewhere, but it's not visible, so I'll get another one. There we go, a silver one. Okay, let's turn her on. Demo off, language English, date is the 29th. Okay. Cool, okay. Now we probably won't get much sound at this point because... That speaker's connected, isn't it? No? Oh, okay, that's why there's no sound. Cool, one thing I can do is go to the settings and do some stuff in here. So first of all, audio. I'm just going to fade it to the front since we're only using front speakers anyway. Crossover, what can it go down to? 50 Hz. Camera input rear, normal, and then 1 off and 2 off. So now there's only going to be 1 camera input on this thing since he doesn't need all 3. Go to ignition and reverse. Yeah, that awesome blurry image. It's the camera's fault, remember, not the stereo. I wonder if he'll get used to that. I wonder if I can change those lines at all. Oh, okay. Now, whoever it was that commented on one of my videos that if you make them small enough, they go away, thank you. I did not know you could do this. If you make these small enough, they go away. Haha, great, thank you. They should just have an off button, really, shouldn't they? They should just have like a turn them off option. Hey Grant, I figured out you can turn Sony parking lines off, because I didn't realize, like someone commented on one of my videos, if you keep going small enough, they disappear. That's good, because this camera has built-on lines that we can't take away anyway, so we're just going to leave those ones there. But that's better.
Is that dirty or out of focus?
It's fucked, I think. Yeah, it was like that on the old stereo. I've cleaned the lens. It's probably just done its dash, but it's hooked up anyway. Cool. Alright, let's put this dash back on. Just need to make sure this USB cable tucks down there so that the heater doesn't get in its way. And we'll put a bunch of the excess back down in there as well, because all this excess isn't going to be able to be pulled through anyway. Actually, no, we don't want to shove it too far back there because there's mechanical moving parts. I'd rather shove it down there. Okay, I really need to set up the camera. Before I put this all the way on, I need to make it look good. Okay, let's find a trim for it. Okay, so what I've done around the outside of the stereo, guys, since this is a Nissan and it has a humongous gap for the stereo and there isn't really any nice way I can get a piece of plastic trim in there to look good, I've wrapped some of this sort of thick-ish foam tape around the perimeter of it and then put 4 strips of electrical tape over top of it just to kind of, I just used it because it's flexible and it's going to push out of the way if it needs to. So I'm hoping this is going to make it look a bit better and fill in the gap, so let's give this a go. And there we go. That's actually not too bad, I'm quite happy with that. It's obviously not as fancy as a bit of plastic, but it does the job, because the issue I was having was that it's really hard to see because of that light up there, but the piece of plastic, like the body of the stereo at the top, was sitting further forward than the back of this piece of plastic, so there's no chance of getting like a nice piece of plastic trim in between them, and down here it's about the same. So with this sort of foam and tape method, it allows for the bit of give or leniency that is in it, but still looks nice in my opinion. Like, you guys can barely tell. It's right along the bottom. Yeah, I'm happy that's good enough. Okay, so the stereo is all in and working, the aerial is done. Check that in reverse, we get that crappy image. The USB situation thing works really well. You can just, it only pulls out to that far because of that, what are those things called? Are they ferrites? Those round tubes that they put around cables? Yeah. Ferrites, yeah. They're an anti-noise thing, aren't they? Anti-interference or something?
It's electromagnetic interference that can run down the cable, I think, or RF.
Anyway, that thing is stopping it from coming out any further, so it can't yank on the cable, and the head of it simply won't go back into its hole, so he's never going to lose his USB cable, and this means that in like that, the connection is all sort of protected in a way, I guess, just because it's hidden inside that pocket. So I like the way I've done that, that's good. Grant's going to start working on this side, and I'm going to put this side back together so that I can show you what he's done before I do that. So the woofer is nice, is just mounted straight onto the factory pod. Did you put a layer of foam between the pod and the speaker? No, but you did put foam between the pod and the
Extra screws, there you go.
Quite far down.
Yeah.
Cool. Sweet as. So that's secured nice and tight, and then he's put some foam in between the factory pod and the metals just in case, because apparently this plastic was a wee bit bowed or warped or something, so that's good. No rattling coming from there. So as you saw, the actually, did I show you that? Yeah, so for the woofer he's soldered the factory plug onto the back of the speaker. So the factory wire is just plugged onto the woofer, and then it looks like these wires here are soldered onto the wires in behind there and put through some conduit here so it doesn't chafe, and then that runs up to the input side of the crossover. Obviously the output side comes up and is just, and then we just plug it on to these wires here. Nice. And the tweeter is going to wind up somewhere around about here. So I can chuck this back on now. Plug in the tweeter. It's a bit hard because they're very short. Down there. Yeah, I can predict that as well. There was no factory sound deadening on this door whatsoever, guys, like literally none. So it's very, very, very tinny, and this plastic door panel is, it might rattle. But that's okay, that's just what happens if you put really good speakers in a car that is a bag of bolts. What should I do about this broken thing? RTV?
Yeah, that's how it was.
There we go. The great thing about these Type R's, as always, is that you can angle the tweeter into any way you really want. So we'll just put it pointing back like that. Nice. And there we go, guys. The, what is it? Navara is done. All back together. Got the stereo on blackout mode at the moment. Oh, this weird, stupid little cover thing. We're gonna give it to him. If he wants, he can chuck it in the bin if he doesn't want it. Spotter, it's gone. Like to put the Alpine stickers on so they look good. We always like to try and be a bit subtle with them, so in this car we've put them on those sails, and then when you close the door, they go on. Magic. It's stuck on. Oh yeah, there we go. Woo, glitchy. Hey Siri, what's the weather like today?
It's currently cloudy and 18 degrees in Sydenham. Expect partly cloudy skies starting in the afternoon. Temperatures are heading down from 19 degrees this afternoon to 16 tonight.
Alright, I didn't want that much information. Stole that one from you, Dean. So there we go. CarPlay works. So glad I bought this power cable thing. This USB cable is plugged into this little thing, which is plugged into this cable, which actually is plugged into the camera. I've got a little false battery in there, and I'm able to power the camera off AC cord. So good to have for moments like this when the camera battery finally goes flat. I've actually been getting really good life out of this camera battery. I'm so happy with it. I used it for the last like 3 days on and off, you know. But so this is a really good backup situation until I get more spare batteries. But I've bought another one of these cables for my GoPro because I realized it'd be a really good way to do the time lapses rather than having to change the battery every like hour or so. Like, it'd just be easier just to have it plugged in to power. But anyway, the Navara is done, guys. So yeah, it's all finished. Speakers, stereo, amplifier, CarPlay works, camera works. Well, it works. I can't say it's a good image because of that camera. But anyway, yeah, sort of good to do a job that we're actually like, I was going to say comfortable, but we're not uncomfortable with other jobs. But good to do a job that is just like, yep, we know what we're going to do. It's easy. We've done this a million times. So it's nice doing a simple job for once. But anyway, thanks for watching today's video. For all of you guys, I've got a box here for Judy. I'm thinking it's for Judy. I don't know what else I could have ordered that this would be, so I'm going to unbox it now and show you what I'm planning on doing. Okay, let's open up this package. What's the best way to do this? Is there a top and a bottom? I think this is the top. I decided to stop the video just here, guys, because I didn't realize with all the filming that I did today how long today's video is going to get. So I'm going to stop this video here. You can check out the next video, which I'll be uploading also tonight, so I'm not going to make you wait for it. The unboxing of that gear, which is for my car, because like otherwise the video is going to be, you know, up to maybe an hour long. Didn't need to be that long. Also, just wanted to give a quick shout out to my 2 most recent Patreons. Sorry dude, I don't know what your actual name is, but your Patreon name is just Dude. So thanks, bro. And also Mark, forgive me if I pronounce your last name wrong, Mark Hunt. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that. Thanks guys for your support, really appreciate it. I'll catch you in the next video.